Hey, I am Pedro Sodré, and I am the manager of this group. So I am in the group with João Guilherme, João Felipe, Thiago, and João Vítor. They will speak right after me, in this order that I mentioned. So this is our blog. These are our first three proposals. So starting with the first one, the automated road toll, the ART. So the problem that we saw is that a lot of people get stuck in traffic in roads, mainly in holidays, because of these tolls. This is one of the main reasons. So like when like in the new year, when a lot of people go to the beach, for example, like it's really common to this toll get stuck in traffic jams. So yeah, this is the problem that we see. We know the cause of this problem is because we need to go to stop the car to make the payment, and then it will free the road to you to pass through the toll. And then the process the payment process, the process that you need to stop the car, that will, it seems quick, but the time that we spent on this escalates, and then this generates like we see in this photo, in this image. So we know we have services like Sem Parar, Connect Car, that allows you to pass through the toll without stopping, and that saves a lot of time. And then we think in a solution to make this accessible for other people, like without requiring a monthly fee like this services requires, like without installation these devices in the car. So we think in a solution that is accessible for everyone, and then based on the license plate. But this, João Guilherme will talk more about it in the solution.
With this problem in mind, we propose an automatic road toll which does not require any additional equipment for the user. Our idea is to use the car's license plate as a unique identifier, so it can be linked to its owner through a database. Once the user is registered in this database, he can pass through this automatic toll, and once the license plate is identified and validated, the user's passing will be registered as needing to be paid on the app. The car owner may access their vehicle information and also his payment information on the app, and can use automatic payments on the time of registering, or he can accumulate tolls and pay it all only at the end of the month. This solution can also be used for security purposes, as a car that was marked as stolen may be detected through its license plate, and additional information such as the picture of the driver may be taken and sent to the police. An administrator may have also a special page, so he can register new vehicles or update their information. And the solution also generates accurate data about the traffic that occurs in each road. This information may also be collected, and it is useful for traffic engineers and anyone who needs accurate traffic information. Our diagram for a top-level solution to the automatic row to problem looks like this. Our idea is to detect movement, detect the presence of a car through a movement sensor, which, when detected, will request a picture from the camera, which will make unnecessary adjustments so it can take a picture containing the license plate. Once received this picture, the microcontroller will process it so it can extract the letters and numbers that compose the license plate. With this information, it will ask the database for validation and additional information about the owner of this car. If the owner is present on the database and no problems are detected, then the gate will open and the owner may continue his trip.
Our second project proposal is the automatic book reader, or also known the personal bard. So let's start with the problem. A reader needs at least one free, clean hand to turn the pages of a book, which make it impossible to read a book while engaged in other manual tasks, such cooking or washing dishes. In addition, people with certain types of disability, such paralysis or blindness, depend on digital books or audiobooks to be able to read, which have a reduced catalog, and depend on the prior acquisition of an e-reader or a special service, such as Audible. In summary, physical books, which are the most common type, are not accessible to everyone. So what's the solution? An automatic page turner combined with character recognition and a text-to-speech voices generated by an artificial intelligence using neural voices allows any physical book to be converted into an audiobook, allowing the reader to perform other manual tasks while listening to its book. Thinking about accessibility, an accessible and easy-to-use app will help turn the device on and off, also allowing the exchange of a neural voice that will read the book. In addition, this project can be greatly contributed to the digitalization of historical documents, a process that is normally done by hand. Finally, the text and speeches can be exported to a personal digital library, allowing the synchronized reading of both media.
Here we see a high-level diagram representing the proposed solution for this problem. The main blocks involved would be the microcontroller, the camera, the app, the motors, and the book. The app would give the users the option to select some neural voice to read the book and start or stop the system. The microcontroller would use the camera to take a picture of the current book page and control the motors to turn the page after finish reading the current page. Our third proposal is a vending machine to sell products in bulk, controlled by hand gestures. The problem we want to solve is that while the process of selling products in bulk is a relatively simple procedure and therefore does not require the work of a salesperson, for security reasons it's not possible to leave the products openly accessible to the customers. On the other hand, for just a simple purchase, it's not convenient to require the customer to deal with an interface full of buttons or install and use some app.
So, what is our solution for this problem?
Essentially, we want to use hand gestures. And why? Using hand gestures for the user to operate the machine, because we think hand gestures are fun. We think they will attract more people, people who in the first place didn't even wanted to buy something, but just to see that they can control the machine using hand gestures, they maybe will try and buy something. That said, what exactly is the idea? The products, of course, will be stored and closed in a secure place, probably separated by some glass or acrylic so the user can see what are the products and how much of each one of them is left. And a camera will be responsible for recording the user and detecting his hand gestures. To say to the system you want to buy something, you just need to get in front of it and wave your hands maybe one or two, maybe 2 or 3 times. To select the product you want, you just need to point at it. Then maybe an LED light will light up in a green color, for example, to show up which product and which container you are currently selecting. Then another gesture will transfer whichever amount of the product you want to an scale. And the initial idea is to use an Archimedes screw to do that. The scale will then measure the weight and compute the price depending on the selected product. After that, with another gesture, you can transfer this amount of product from the scale to, for example, a bag, and continue with the buying, selecting whichever amount of whatever product you want. When you finish uh, getting it all, you can make maybe another gesture to close the buy. The products, of course, will be always separated from the user until he makes the final payment. And then maybe a door will open and the user will be able to retrieve his products. So, in summary, here is a high-level block diagram of the system I just described. In the center, we'll have a microcontroller, which will probably have to be a Raspberry Pi Zero, a Raspberry Pi because of the image processing. We will have a camera, which will be constantly recording people passing down through the aisle of the mall, for example, and which will identify when a user want to buy something. We will have the LED lights to indicate which container the user is currently selecting. We will have the motors of the Archimedes screw and of the mechanism responsible for taking the product off the scale to a bag. We will have some sort of weight sensor in the form of a scale and a payment system. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening.